excellent arm and mind for the quarterback position
Got
and
to talk
move
about the
on.
Giants.
It's time to talk about the Giants. Packers at Giants. I thought the Packers would win by 2 scores in this one, and they gave Packers fans everywhere a massive heart attack as at 2 separate points in this game. Josh Jacobs left in the first half, came back in for like a drive, and then left again, so making some bet placers very unhappy with him, as that may have ruined his void due to injury. And then Jordan Love left, and he came back in. And the drive that Malik Willis was in, he scored a touchdown. So it was nice to see that Malik Willis can still come in and fill in for Jordan Love and be productive. But in this game, I wouldn't say I was that impressed by what Matt LaFleur had drawn up for this Giants defense. This Giants team is literally down to the bottom of the barrel when it comes to a lot of their players on, defense and offense. I mean, we're starting Jameis Winston out there against this Packers defense. I would have expected it to be a bloodbath. I mean, I know Jameis can come out and rifle the ball, but we know how interception and turnover prone he is. And it just did not feel to me like the Packers defense was really they weren't looking anywhere near like, an elite scary defense.
What they played when they played us.
Right, or like what they were when they played the Eagles. And I would say the weather was definitely much worse in that game. But like take for example, the Giants in the red zone, 3 for 5. And one of those was an interception, so it's like very easily could have been, a touchdown. And then the Packers, they were 4 for 4 in the red zone, so they did convert. But this Packers defense getting embarrassed by this Giants offense, allowing the Giants to control the ball for 36 minutes. And the Packers only holding the ball for 24 minutes. And I feel like it shouldn't just be Josh Jacobs exits the game. No, this offensive line was struggling against the Giants' defensive front, which has been honestly another big and very enlightening thing for this Packers team, is that the offensive line doesn't really seem to be on the level of the other elite teams like the Eagles or the Lions or maybe even the Rams. So very disappointing for this Packers team as they unconvincingly rise to 6-3-1. The Giants fall to 2-9. So we are going to be like top 3 in draft positioning at this point. It's going to be like the
No, you won't. You won't, because you got the culture wins.
Like,
They're due up.
Yeah, the Jets play the Saints next. I think it's next week too, though. But the
culture wins.
The Giants' culture wins could be inevitably due, but right now we're not seeing them. And I will like to point out that Tyrone Tracy looked a lot healthier today, even though they decided to give Motor Singletary the
absolutely drag Parsons.
The David Montgomery role. But anyway, and Isaiah Hodgins. Why are him and Lil Jordan Humphrey not like the two like perimeter and like slot rotationary wide receiver with Wandale? Like, I don't know why they haven't been like stepping up for us ever since Slayton kind of had that hamstring injury early on.
Humphrey's on the Broncos now.
I know, but we should have kept him. Like we literally had him in that Eagles game. He was a big reason we won. Was just his presence against Keely Ringo, and we decided to let him go. But
on top of that, you waited until this past week to sign Isaiah Hodgins when he's on the practice squad of the Steelers. Why wasn't that done months ago?
If Jalen Hyatt wasn't existing on the roster and we were able to trade him or just release him and move on to someone we actually believed in, it would have been much better. But
Scotty, I do have a question for you though.
On top of that, you guys went to Hodgins to tie the game. A guy you haven't trusted or believed in all year. Why are you doing that?
Well, it's just like probably was the read on the play. Like I don't think there's much rhyme or reason to what the Giants are doing at this point, to be honest, especially with Jameis out there and Mike Kafka, interim head coach in his first game. Like, we're just like throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. Like, it's just that kind of game. And sometimes that can get you pretty far because it makes you hard to predict on offense. It's like we don't know like what they're going to do. So you play your base defense and you play all conservative, and then like you allow the offense to actually get into rhythm because you're not like challenging them. So felt like there was kind of some of that going on. Packers, I believe their schedule is not like that easy moving forward. So they are a half game behind the Bears for first place. So they are, and they're a like half game, like I guess ahead or behind the Lions, depending on how you look at it, because they're 6-3. So not a good look for the Packers. That's a bad win in my book, and it's gonna be considered moving forward. And then for the Giants, just like another week. Let me see what the Tankathon says.
Well, Scotty, this is what I just gotta know. I really do gotta understand. So, like,
Second overall,
the Packers defense, right?
Yeah,
having a hard time against the Cowboys, and having a hard time against the Giants, but then they come to play the Eagles, and I'm not gonna lie to you, in terms of intensity, in terms of fire, and in terms of the blitzing percentages, it was definitely way higher against teams that I feel like they feel like, oh, they're worth their salt in a sense. I.e., like when they played the Cowboys, they were blitzing like crazy, but Dak was putting up crazy numbers. He was balling out. His whole offense was healthy besides the O-line, and they were able to ball out. And CD,
no CD that game.
No CD that game. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, imagine. Yeah. So then you play the Giants. Jameis Winston drops 20 on you, but then it's like you play the Eagles, and it's like there's almost like there's this animosity. There's we need to ball out and just risk our lives.
I think their problem is that they approach games like that where they see a team like the Eagles that they know there's a good chance they would see in the playoffs, and they want to really like bring it to that team. But then they verse a team like the Giants or the Colts or like the Cardinals and just like all these teams, and it's just like
they take a day off.
They take a day off, or like they're like not showing their playbook, or they're not executing well because they're lazy. They didn't have a serious week of practice, and I think that's a mentality and an attitude developing in a team that I really don't like, and I think it breeds the opposite of championship football. And it's really what is leading to my decline in my view of and my perception of the Packers is this kind of stuff, because this is a bad win. And like I said, that Lions win from week 1 feels further and further away every week, because like you said, that's a team you felt was worth their salt. But like, you know, if you stumble into the playoffs with this attitude for 85% of the season, then that's a very bad thing. So I don't feel like this is good for them. But it's time we move on to the next game. And this one was a very wild game. This was Chargers at Jaguars.